Next up, we have 0xGorilla from DeFi Wonderland, who will be talking about how to achieve a good on-chain solution for price feeds. So welcome.
Hey, how's it going? I think you can hear me. The presentation is quite unique, as you might see. Somebody broke into my apartment, stole my computer and everything into my Airbnb, so this is the presentation. But don't worry, everything is fine. Nobody was there. The presentation is about the current state of price Oracle feeds and what can we do to improve it. Actually, I was pretty surprised because all the talks that came before me were actually preparing for this. So like, thank you, Sasha, thank you, Sean. So price oracles, again, no presentation. What do we have? We have Chainlink, which actually accounts, I think we have around 25 billion assets secured by price feed oracles. And actually, Chainlink secures 65% of them, to be specific, 63. So that's quite concerning, to be honest. And we have some issues with Chainlink, as you might already know. To be honest, congrats to them. They have taken us this far, and this is great. But nevertheless, the incentives are quite centralized. The data feeders receive link tokens in order to be incentivized to actually post the changes in price and everything. So I think we can do better. And we have also Maker with Chronicle, which we'll speak later. Nevertheless, Maker Oracle, which is for ETH USD, costs around $8 million in gas prices a year. So if you have a protocol which is able to pay $8 million for gas every year, then it might be useful. But as you can imagine, most of the protocols don't, right? Also, we have some other small oracles, like PIT, 5% of the total assets, and Uniswap, which is amazing. To be honest, I love what Uniswap has done with V3, and I love where it is going with V4. But it's only accounting for 3% of the total assets being secure. So why is that first? And what can we do to improve that? So Uniswap is great. I do believe if we want the price of an asset, it's crazy that we're taking it off-chain, where we have all the information in an AMM on-chain. Yes? So if we have all this information, why are we not getting it? Uniswap V3 is complicated already. Many protocols which are using it quite are having some mistakes. So for example, many are using it and don't know even what cardinality is, right? Cardinality is this array where observations are being stored, and every time you query the TWAP, then you basically need to ensure that you have a cardinality array long enough in order to store enough observations for you to query that TWAP. So this is one issue already. People are querying spot prices or small enough TWAPs. Also, we have the multi-block attack, which is possible after POS. So I won't really talk everything that we previously discussed. But we built this protocol because we believe that we can do better, and we can Uniswap. It's going towards the best solution, I might say, but we need to simplify it a little bit in order to ensure that we're safe, basically. So we built something that is called Price Oracle. We can go to the next slide. I don't know how we do this. Yeah, this is the last slide and the next slide. So, but Price Oracle is sitting on top of Uniswap V3, yes? And it's another layer of security, let's say. So for example, if you create a pool with price, you're basically creating a pool with Uniswap, but it has a minimum required liquidity that you need to have in order to create a pool. So you need around 50 ETH in total. So for a protocol, it needs to have 50 ETH. But that liquidity is completely locked into the pool. So with Uniswap V3, let's say you have a protocol and you are querying the price of ETH something, right? What happens if Uniswap V4 comes out and all the LPs start moving to Uniswap V4, and then like your protocol is still with Uniswap V3. It like gets like mega easy to start manipulating it. The cost of manipulation goes down because you cannot trust the liquidity providers at the end of the day. And if you're using UniV3 as your like price provider, then you're doing that. So with price, we basically ask you to perma-lock, almost permanent lock your liquidity. Yes, so if you are querying a price pool, you know that liquidity is going to stay there and it's going to be there. Also, what do we do? The cardinality, it has a minimum length, so basically you can know for sure that you can query the TWAP that you need. Yes, and also instead of querying through like the Oracle library of Uniswap, what you can do is you can query through the price library. What it does, it's basically, it blocks you from querying the spot price. Like, you should never be querying the spot price in any protocol. So it's basically Uniswap for dummies that in order to, like, nothing should be going wrong. And also what it does that is quite great in my opinion is with that liquidity that you need to lock in order to initialize a pool, yes, it goes, as we said, like, to a full range position, and then it goes through concentrated positions, yes, and we know that those concentrated positions need to move in order to follow the active tick. So the fees that the liquidity is generating are going to be reused, yes, for three things. So basically, the fees are going to be reused in order to increase the full range liquidity. Yes, the fees are also going to be used like in order to reward liquidity providers, and also they're going to increase the cardinality, in an autonomous way. So as you have a price oracle like longer and longer, yes, this liquidity is actually going to be helpful to provide a better oracle. So it's going to be every time a little bit like better. Yes, going to have more full range liquidity, harder to manipulate, a bigger cardinality array, and everything is going to be paying for its own because the fees are going towards the automation. The automation is fully on-chain. There is nothing like centralized about it, no API needed, no server. Like the automation can be running with Gelato, can be running with Keeper Network, can be running with anything. And you can still like do even more fun stuff, right? Like if you have a library where you query using that library, you can, for example, start using a cache. Like we have a cache on chain that if you're querying a popular pool, we know how like expensive it is to query a pool. You can cache that TWAP if many people are like, basically querying it and make it cheaper for other people. You have all these different settings. But at the end of the day, this is the goal, like to make for you to see like a price pool and say, oh, damn, like this is as safe as we can get with Uniswap V3, right? Like it has locked liquidity. It has a good cardinality. No one can query spot price. It has a full range liquidity big enough to prevent like manipulations. It has concentrated liquidity that will be moving alone with automated positioning. So this is the goal of price. Now, where is it? This is a public good. We did like complete not-for-profit. We were talking with Euler Finance about launching it together, and you all know what happened. But our objective now with Uniswap V4 is that we see like how well it fits, and we see like what we aim to do is to move price towards like using hooks and being the on-chain oracle that is going to be using Uniswap V4. I don't know if you all know, but at the end of the day, Uniswap V4 aims to make it cheaper for swaps by removing all this cardinality array, removing everything that leads like to having an oracle on chain, and adding hooks so we can do whatever. Like if we want to do that, we do it. If not, we don't. So price, I think it fits like butter and jam, we said. But basically we're editing it. We're already in talks with Uniswap V4. If you want to see the code, it's completely done. It's finished. Like it's frozen already, so you could even use it and deploy it in Uniswap V3. It's at github.com Price Oracle. Yes, we have a small Discord as well for any questions you might have. And in order to answer another question, for the ones who don't know Wonderland, why the fuck we're doing this? So at Wonderland, what we do is we're a core development group for many different protocols, right? We look at the protocols which we think are going to stay in DeFi for the long term and are going to be the building blocks of DeFi, and we look to partner with them. We have more than 30 developers, Solidity developers. We have a research team. We partner up with them, and we look to add value to them. So I'm not going to go more into details. This is not selling Wonderland, but we don't do our own projects. We work with other projects. So why did you do Price? Because we think the situation sucks. Like, if you go to defi.sucks, you'll see our site. And basically, Maker is good, like Chainlink is good, like, but the situation can be improved. I do think that we have everything on chain in order to query the price that we need. So Price Oracle aims to do that. Any? Wow, whatever.